Shortly after the decision to mount an armed revolution in South Vietnam, an organization had been created to control the military and political effort. This organization, the National Liberation Front, represented a wide range of political, ethnic, and religious groups. The military wing of the NLF was the People's Liberation Army. The army included guerrillas who had been sent down from North Vietnam, Viet Minh veterans, and local armed groups. The main purpose of the force was to support the political battle, and the civilian leaders of the front kept tight control. President Diem christened them the Viet Cong, the Vietnamese Communists, and the name stuck. The Viet Cong meant to follow the same kind of political and military strategy that had won the war against the French. Politics, diplomacy, and violence would be carefully coordinated so each always worked with the others. For the time being, military activity would take second place to the political effort. Many hoped that a full-scale war would never be necessary. Others, particularly those closely connected with the North, saw a military campaign as the key to victory and expected it to pass through 3 critical stages. In the first phase of the revolution, with the National Liberation Front's insurgents greatly outnumbered by Saigon's army, the task for guerrilla units would be to survive in the face of government attack. Safe base areas would be created as defensive sanctuaries and as springboards for small-scale guerrilla attacks. In the second phase, the insurgents would deploy larger units and would seek out bigger battles. The opposing forces would be more evenly balanced, and under relentless pressure, the enemy would become defensive and static. In the third phase, at the key moment when the NLF became stronger than the government army, they would launch large-scale assaults against enemy installations and seek out decisive conventional battles. This phase, the general offensive, combined with uprisings in the cities and towns, would bring the downfall of the Saigon regime and the reunification of Vietnam. While the revolution was in its early phase, the NLF meant to build up its organization as fast as it possibly could. Political agents founded dozens of associations to bring every kind of support into the movement. There were associations for women, farmers, students, and workers. In less than 2 years, the front claimed 300,000 members. At the same time as it built up grassroots support, the NLF meant to intensify its military operations. Bigger attacks on government forces would gain the movement prestige. Meanwhile, intensive training and preparation by North Vietnamese officers would forge the Viet Cong into an efficient and formidable fighting machine. By the end of 1961, the Saigon government was forced to admit it was faced with a full-scale war. Every week, over 1,000 people were being killed. All over the country, the NLF were organizing whole districts along communist lines, controlling education, health, and agriculture. There were whole areas which had seen no government troops or officials for years.